The Dead Archive. Episode 2, The Silent Twins, a chilling tale of isolation, obsession, and madness. Two sisters, same face, same voice, same mind. They made a pact to speak to no one except each other. And when one of them died, the other started talking. This is the chilling story of the Silent Twins, and it's stranger than fiction. It began in 1963. Twins Jennifer and June Gibbons were born in Yemen to Caribbean parents. Their father, a Royal Air Force technician, was stationed overseas. But it wasn't Yemen that shaped them. It was Wales. The Gibbons family moved to Haverfordwest, a small, overwhelmingly white town in West Wales, where June and Jennifer were the only black children in school. And from the beginning, something was off. They were slow to speak. When they did, it was in a language no one understood, fast, mumbled, and strange. Teachers were baffled. Classmates mocked them. Doctors took notes. Eventually, they realized it wasn't a new language. It was a secret one, a rapid-fire, mirrored dialect of English only the twins could decipher. June and Jennifer refused to speak to anyone else. They walked in perfect sync, ate at the same pace, dressed identically. If one was hurt, the other screamed. But this was more than just twin telepathy. This was obsession. They became completely isolated. At home, they locked themselves in their bedroom for hours. They wrote journals, short stories, and romantic novels, dark ones, often violent. The stories were about young men falling into crime, addiction, and madness. Fiction blurred into fantasy, then fantasy into crime. By their late teens, the twins turned to arson and petty theft. They set fire to a tractor shop, then to a local school. They watched it burn and didn't say a word. The courts didn't know what to do with them. They were sent to Broadmoor, the most notorious high-security psychiatric hospital in the UK. They were 19 years old, and they would stay there for 11 years. Inside Broadmoor, things only got stranger. The girls were heavily medicated, separated from each other. Psychiatrists called them catatonic, frozen in silence, sometimes for days. Then, without warning, they'd burst into wild laughter or erupt in whispered arguments only they could understand. They were obsessed with writing, with death, with freedom. In their journals, they described a disturbing pact. One of us must die so the other can live. Jennifer wrote of feeling possessed, controlled, enslaved. June at times claimed to be afraid of her sister, afraid Jennifer would kill her. But Jennifer wasn't violent. She was just waiting for the moment she'd give up her life. And then it happened. In 1993, after years of lobbying by journalists and supporters, the twins were granted release from Broadmoor to a lower security facility. The day of their transfer, Jennifer leaned her head on June's shoulder and whispered, "At long last, we're free." Hours later, she was dead. Her cause of death? Acute myocarditis, sudden inflammation of the heart. No drugs, no poison, no signs of trauma. Doctors were stunned. There was no medical reason for her heart to stop. But June wasn't surprised. In fact, she started talking freely, clearly, for the first time in her life. So what really happened? Was it suicide, psychosomatic death, or something else? June later said she chose to die, and she did. That's how strong our bond was. Many believe Jennifer sacrificed herself to set June free. Others think it was the only way out of the psychological prison they had built for themselves. Whatever the truth is, we may never know. But one thing's certain, they weren't just twins. They were a mirror, each the prisoner of the other. Today, June lives quietly in the UK. She occasionally gives interviews, writes poetry, and speaks with a calm, haunting clarity. She says she's happy, but she still carries her sister with her, always. The case of the silent twins is one of the most disturbing examples of psychological codependency in modern history. It's a story of love, of madness, of identity so entwined, it couldn't survive itself. If you found this story chilling, subscribe, because this is Dead Archive.